Paula Diedrich. I am going to say this straight out tonight. I am not, like all day, I have not felt, like physically I'm fine, but my brain, for whatever reason, is not in top gear today. So bear with me, help me get through this.
What a little snow does, huh?
I think it's just, it's just been a week for lots of reasons for me, and so I'm just not 100% on my game. So hopefully you get lots of laughs at my, because that's fun too. I'm good with that. So I apologize, but when I do the agenda, I'm doing this at home on my printer at home. So I try to keep it to 2 pages. So if you use these to write notes, I apologize. There's not a lot of white space. But it is what it is. Let me look. Told you I wasn't on my. Do we have any new attendees or anyone that has come back after a little bit of a break? Yay! Returning from break. Returning from break. Just a reminder, we need 2 people for snacks next week. Tina's not here. Mary Beth has been sitting in for her, so you could maybe let her know or me. And then we do have the donation for the church's space. Veterans Day pop-ups. Do we want an update from that, or do we have an update? 28 Marquette. Okay. So, Megan. Okay. Oh, so we did get some media? Yeah. And here, which I'm just going to, because I know it's on here, pop-ups, is that going to be a new place now in Marquette on a regular basis? Okay. Just, I am not here next week, so I'm already trying to build next week's agenda, and that's always on there, and I wanted to see if I had updated.
So it was Avenue of Forest for my UP.
For my UP. Thank you. I have to go to Facebook to read the update for the food. Look at that. We have pictures on Yoopers Unite already for the whatever. See, I'm not with it. You guys, just fill in those blanks when I'm totally not there. Unless, oh, here it is. All right. Filling Ishpring St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry Part 1. So Joanne came back from vacation to an awesome surprise from last Tuesday night's meeting. 209 pounds of food, household, and hygiene donated. Some of that total, not pictured, was designated for the Whetstone Temp Pantry. And we also have a 40-pound donation, which was not pictured in Facebook, going to Salvation Army Food Pantry in Marquette, donated in the name of Yoopers Unite. So someone actually reached out to Joanne and specifically said, hey, I'm giving it in this name. Grand total for Yoopers Unite to date is 4,234 pounds. Woohoo! We broke 2 tons. With the holiday season coming, let's keep up the good work and fill our local pantries. Look for part 2 coming Friday. Joanne has already got the extreme needs list for the Ishpring, St. Vincent de Paul. Eggs, cheese, butter, and milk. Because they can't get that from Feeding America anymore. Okay, so she's going to use money that has come through the Venmo to purchase for that, and then we'll post pictures next week. What was your question, Faith?
bring them here, or what? Okay.
Or you could bring them to St. Vincent in Ishpeming. Yeah. It's always nice if you give give a plug for our group. Yep, which I know you would. Go ahead.
Can we restate the Venmo handle that we can donate to?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry. And Joanne's going to be shopping the sales all week because there's those darn limits, and she can only get so much at once.
Do we want to have Feeding America come in and give us an update? Have you? Yeah, okay. One of the Rotaries works very closely with them, and I know folks there. I will make that ask and see what I can do about probably post-Thanksgiving.
Venmo is at Yoopers Pantry Project. I will get that on the next agenda. No, not with Venmo. Anything else? You're doing a great job supporting me. Good job. Keep those questions and all of those coming. So Feeding America will hopefully get them to talk. Awesome. Before we go into the connected organizations, because again, I was just trying to do this agenda, there was a suggestion last week, and if you look at the very bottom of page 1 of the agenda, it says presenting new action items. So last week, someone gave a suggestion that we have this at the agenda where it's an actual spot where we pause. If someone has an idea and can present the idea very quickly even, or just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Do you think it's worth having some more conversation? So that will be coming up. So if you have a new idea, that'll be coming up soon. We the people, no one's here. Oh yeah, sorry Zeke, I saw you walking. It is me. I know, I saw him walk in though. That's how.
Evening, everyone. My name is Zeke, he, him pronouns. I'm here on behalf of We the People Michigan that I joined up with to be involved in community engagement and mutual aid, especially as we're facing some of the issues more recently. Specifically, We the People is now involved in trying to help out during the SNAP crisis. This crisis has meant folks in our community and on our team have been struggling with food. We have quickly organized a mutual aid project until the 20th to help folks access food pantry items and resources when lack of transportation is a barrier. So we have 3 small teams, a Marquette, a Ishpeming Negaunee, and a Harvey Gwynn team. And we know folks with Yoopers Unite are struggling, or may know people who are struggling, and we'd like to connect with folks that could use, we would like to connect with folks that could use some support for transportation. So what we're offering to do is get people to food banks or drive on their behalf to pick up food for them if they're not able. So in that regard, since we only have 3 teams and a limited set of time, if you need, or if you know someone in need, or you are interested in relaying this information, please see me during the breakout time and I can give you more information about this, some contact info for We the People, etc. It just dropped.
Oh, I was giving you credit for actually remembering I was shorter than you. LSRI I know has probably a little bit bigger of a update, from my understanding, but I might be wrong. So ballot proposals, the same as always, and ranked choice. Oh, I did put it on.
So yeah, an update there, I included it in the email, but the Rank My Vote Town Hall is now been rescheduled to, Monday, November 17th. That's from 7 PM to 8:30 PM at the First Presbyterian Church in Marquette. That's on Front Street and Bluff. Yeah. And so please invite friends or family, people who may not know about the ranked choice voting, or go yourself to learn more information. They will have some of the directors from the statewide campaign there to inform people about ranked choice voting, about the current ballot initiative, and to answer questions and get more people volunteering and on board with the campaign. Monday the 17th, November 17th, so next week, next Monday. 7 PM to 8:30 PM.
It's under upcoming one-time events. It says reschedule. It's the first bullet.
And I don't have any updates personally for the other two petition ballot measures. Deb, did you have anything?
No.
Okay, all right.
All right. So I think we are at LSRI. Do we have an update from what's going on? From my understanding, I thought we were, but maybe not. New leadership possibly, or? Yeah, I got contacted saying that there would be.
So, come help me, because I really have been somewhere else, doing other things. Processing a lot of vegetables today. So, we, are developing committees so that it's clear who does what, and dividing the work, because basically 2 people have been doing so much. And so we're looking at how some of the other indivisibles have shared the load and made it clear, help, the problem, the solving for and this is not that things have been going great, but there's problems that have come up, like we wanted to rent a movie because it's winter now, and let's maybe have a film series as things to do. What name? How do we decide what movie we're going to show? Who's going to pay for it? Like, those kind of questions haven't been fully settled. Let's make that transparent. And then there's a big meeting tomorrow. You may have heard. Indivisible is going to start a primary campaign. We're very unhappy with what's happening in Washington, D.C. Well, it's good that people are going to have their SNAP benefits. We are walking away from the health insurance, we being Democrats. And so who represents the group at these national calls? We don't have a structure right now to make that decision. And how, if we're a group, we should be voting on what we want to do as a group. So those are the questions that we are working through to just have a structure where it's clear, I think. Is that fair?
Yeah, and we have a steering committee, basically just of volunteers. We're hoping to get down the road. We're hoping to have elections for a steering committee. But right now, there are some people who are really interested in showing up at the meetings. We were able to get a room at the library tomorrow. We have 10 more slots, I think. I actually haven't looked at the Mobilized just recently, but we could only get a room for 30. We are trying, we do want to have a large indivisible meeting sometime soon.
45.
We can have 45 tomorrow?
What room is it?
Heritage.
Yeah, capacity of 45.
Oh, I didn't
It
know.
depends how you set it up. Set it up in classroom style. I run these rooms all the time.
Okay, well, so we're having a meeting tomorrow night, and we're hoping to talk about writing a mission statement. We have some sample mission statements available to us. We're hoping to talk about goals, and to get a few teams started, like a call to action team and an election team, membership and recruitment for starters. I mean, we don't want to get too many teams because, we want it to be able to be feasible. We're just we're building on what Judy and Paul and Jen started last fall in reaction to the scary election, and they stepped up. All of them stepped up and started it, and we just have more people interested in Indivisible. We're taking a lot of our lead from National Indivisible. They have incredible resources for setting things up, and amazing support teams. And so that's what we're doing. And we'll be sharing out. And, I really don't see, anybody's welcome to either Yoopers Unite or LSRI. And, everybody's welcome everywhere.
What time, Thursday, tomorrow?
The Heritage tomorrow at 6 p.m. to 8. And do we want to, in the breakout, share the Mobilize so people register for it? Okay, so we do have a Mobilize that we set up, just so we could keep track of how many people were coming. And I thought it was 30. But see us after this.
And the other cool thing about Mobilize, because I was playing around with it today, is you can send out the meeting minutes to everyone who attended without having to go and figure out who was there and what. If you register on Mobilize, we can then communicate back to you. And so I didn't even know it had that capacity. So it's a useful tool to help, because I think communication, right, is something else we're trying to solve for. It's just, which platform did I read that on, Discord, Passenger Pigeon, or Facebook, right? And so this way, Mobilize, the organizer writes the meeting minutes, and it will just go right back out to you. And you don't have to find everybody and worry about adding them on. It simplifies that piece. So those kind of things are the things that we're looking at making better. So I'm taking lead on communications, and if you want to help with that, I'd love to have support on it, because there's email and Facebook and the Discord and a website. So and we have some great templates, the work that's been done, and then again, how to get ready for all the people, the thousands of people who've been at the events. How do we help them get more involved as we can? Thanks.
So I'm presenting new action items. Is there anyone in here that, are you going to go from there or up here? Okay, that means Oscar has to get up and get you the mic.
Am I going?
She has to practice because she said she would MC this next week, so she could come up here.
Only if you didn't find anybody else. Which just sounds like you didn't. So I've been thinking about, we're approaching the holiday season, of course, and we've done really good with the food pantry stuff. But I know that there's a lot of families out there in need that will need, toys or clothing or supplies. And I was thinking that through an established organization such as the Salvation Army, which I've used to do this at past employment places, because of the larger families, a lot of times don't get picked because they're too big for one person to handle. So I was thinking maybe through whatever organization, I'm willing to take suggestions, but places that already have an established structure, we could adopt one of the larger families through Yoopers United, and that way it wouldn't be a burden on any one person. We could give that family, or several families, depending on what we end up adopting, a really good Christmas. Because we used to do it through the DNR when I worked in Wisconsin, and we would pick a family of 4 or 5, and we would give them stuff well beyond what they asked for on the list. We give them bedding and pillows and shampoo for all the things in gift cards. So I think we could really give if we picked one family or 2 smaller families, whatever it was, we could give somebody a really, really good Christmas or a holiday.
breakout.
Anyone else? Billboard? We are cruising right along tonight. So on the back and on your table, you'll find related documents. So on the back, over this week, I typed up the list that Lydia and Carla, when you did all this, if you were here last week, all those sticky notes and the reasons why we attend Tuesday night. It was on a big chart paper, still is. I took that and typed that up. I also now added it to what was a one-page or one-sided document. You'll notice that it is now two-sided. So I am keeping this document to just show how I can't hold a piece of paper. You can, how we had a mission statement, then there was this general list of how, or what was happening from my perspective. I'm gonna take full ownership of that second bullet list. That was what I was perceiving was happening here at the meetings. Then on October 28th, we had everyone at tables talked and shared out. And then last week, if you were here, you wrote your reason or reasons for why you attend. I will try and continue to document as we do those types of activities. So then we broke out into breakout groups last week. One of them was talking about LSRI and Yoopers Unite. And I had pictured, as I was standing up here, I'm picturing a Venn diagram happening. I'm not sure what happened at that table. Another group talked about the organization, leadership, maybe having a little bit more transparency, or what is there? Is there any leadership? Like, who makes final decisions? Those types of things. I don't know if anyone did a building membership breakout. Was there a group? Oh, yay. Was there another breakout group from that? Did anyone talk about something else? Okay.
The talker had the speaker.
Oh, Kelly did, but nothing related to like looking again at where are we at as a group? What are we doing? Is it working? Do we need to change things? Because again, this is just this agenda just came out of me talking to some people and saying, here, this is what I'm going to propose. I have really tough skin, so if it's not working, let's change it or tweak it. I was always one of those that came to a meeting with words on paper. Like, here's our starting point, because it's just more efficient. So, yeah.
We did talk about the money situation, which is not just, again, there's the yard signs and the money with the yard signs, and I guess there's money left over, or money there's money in an account somewhere for the yard signs and the shirts, and it's apparently combined LSRI and Yoopers Unite. So and I don't actually have direct knowledge of this, I just know it came up, so I'm bringing it up as a topic. Like, we need to have a conversation about, and I guess there's, Judy was really the person, and Gail Hughes, and Judy Kitchen, but there's like a few $100s that's sitting in an account from these efforts, and we just need to get clarity, and so Yoopers Unite, LSRI, because with Indivisible, there's national money that you can get to do your events, like those social events when we had the picnic and the 2 picnics. The national will contribute money to those. They want us to have social events and get to know people and get to know your neighbor. But then, Yoopers Unite doesn't have a structure right now, and so we just want to get clarity on that. So that's probably After Wednesday nights, after tomorrow night's meeting, there will be someone from LSRI who's gonna do financial. That's being determined, and then that person can work with whoever else they need to talk to. So,
And that came up at the organization/leadership table too. So there was already conversation about treasury, money, that kind of stuff. So I'm adding that, thank you.
So I'm a big part of that problem. Just to be open and transparent. When I was doing the parade, people were just putting bills in my pockets from I don't know who. I mean, everybody jumped on and wanted to do it. So we do have a sum of money that's tied up in the Yoopers / LSRI T-shirt fund that's happening down at Loyalties. It's tied up in pulls for making more shirts, and then in the end we will have money. But who does that money belong to? There's no, I can't say it goes to anyone. It's not like a pot of gold. Am I getting this wrong?
See, you aren't the problem.
You're not the problem.
You're the problem.
No, I just wanted to clarify about the t-shirts and the sweatshirts, that's all I really know about. We were given a donation of $1,000 from an anonymous donor, and that was put into t-shirts. And we sold out the first run of 300 shirts, and we made a little bit of money on each one, enough to roll over into a set of 300 more screen holds. So we have about 200 to 250 screen holds left. So if you want to order a sweatshirt or a t-shirt. So there's no combined Yoopers Unite LSRI money in terms of the t-shirts and the sweatshirts
Well, when those T-shirts are sold, there will be a sum of money in there.
at the
Yeah,
end.
so whose money is it? I don't know. We'd have to decide this as a
We'll make,
different,
we'll
as
cut,
a different group.
yeah, and we probably need a marital therapist, so. No, we don't. No, we'll talk to the donor and see what that person wants us to do with the money. When we split it. So anyway, sorry to take up all the time, but buy a sweatshirt. The sweatshirts are really cool, the hoodies, for protests like we had today, where it was kind of cold.
But we should put QR codes for next event, like when we go and protest. Because there were a lot of people at the last big protest asking me where like you could buy their shirt, and all I could say was like, go to Loyalty, look on their website, like we have a QR code and we just sell every event, and then we just have it. I just want to say that because
Yeah, I thought we did.
it makes flyers, like
They have yeah, because they had little business cards and stuff. So we just have to get those out more.
yeah, we just have to invest for like maybe somebody stands around at the table, like the head table, like
Yeah, I'm making that note. Hold on. QR codes, distribute more. So, did we have a breakout conversation? Was there something you want to share other than the money? What was discussed at the LSRI and Yoopers Unite intersection breakout? Is there any, I know that was a week ago, and if your brain is like mine today, that was a long time ago. Is there anything that we want shared out? You guys are bad. Crickets like last week. Ah. All right, so I'm going to share because I sat at the organization and leadership. I'll be right back because my notes aren't with me.
this is how I learn when I talk too.
They had lots of laughs, I can tell you that. And I thank both sides of my family because we learned very early on that it was good to laugh at yourself. I actually had a student that told me I was no fun to make fun of, and I went, "What do you mean?" He goes, you make fun of yourself before we can." I'm like, exactly. So, these are my notes from last week. Good luck. We talked about, well, who currently is there is an informal group that it kind of makes decisions, or at least is a sounding board. That includes Danielle and Joanne, who were original Facebook page and still are administrators on that Facebook page. I'm in there because I noticed a little bit of a gap and we needed some more structure to our meeting, and then I started doing minutes, and so everyone thinks I'm in charge of the agenda. I'm not. I just type it up. Zeke has been part of that conversation when a question comes. Donovan has been part of the conversation. Tina has been part of the conversation. Am I missing anyone? Blair? Blair was part of the conversation. But there isn't necessarily a formal board, so there is conversation of, yeah, maybe we need to, number one, tell you who is behind the scenes making some decisions. For example, when I was approached, because I do the agenda, about having Callie Barr come. I went, I don't know, do we have people come that are running for, well, how does that look? We had about 2 days to flip around an answer. So I sent it out to all of them going, hey, I got this email, what are we gonna do? There was back and forth of yes, no, maybe, yeah, what does it look like? And then we came up with yep, we are nonpartisan, they can come, and that's where that structure of they speak for 10 minutes to introduce themselves. It's not a Q&A because that can go a lot longer. And that if they want, they can stay and have the small breakouts. At this point, we've done that with all the candidates, so I think the consensus has been we need to stay consistent with that because it would be unfair to any other candidate, previous candidate. So that has had a conversation about, do we need to open that up? And again, we're looking for feedback on this. I just defaulted into the secretary again because I was sitting here going, we're talking too much and not having enough action. People are here to do something. We need to figure out a structure to make that happen. And then and taking notes helps me because I have ADD and it helps me pay attention. And then a treasurer's report also came up, like presenting how much money, where is the money coming from, where is it going, and having some kind of accountability to that. So that was also something that was discussed in our breakout. Like a treasurer report every 2 weeks. Yeah.
I think that the issue isn't that we need reports. As a matter of fact, I don't feel that we need reports. But we do need an accountability structure.
Yeah.
Just like Indivisible was just saying, we have that confusion over money. And it is part of our mission statement.
Yeah, come on.
Thank you. So I feel that when we talk about organizational structure, that there is a fear here that we are going to turn into a county board meeting where we have Robert's Rules of Order and we sit down and we listen to those stupid reports. None of us wants that. But we need something. We need a decision-making structure. We need financial accountability. I did not feel comfortable taking that $500 and spending it. And I did not feel comfortable writing a letter without your approval, but I did because we're action-oriented. We all want to get moving. And as a group, we need to agree to certain things. And I think that one of the things that really needs to happen here is we really need to look at that mission statement. I don't know when it was written, who wrote it, or whatever, and I don't know if we all agree with it. But I do believe that we are not fulfilling or following that mission very well. And I think that needs a long, studied, hard debate that comes back to this group. If we are a networking agency, if we look at that picture of us that we sent out, which shows that we are some form of a center, We have people coming to us. We are not going out. And I grew up in Ralph. My friends are still in Dickinson County. I have friends that need our help. If we are this networking agency, if we are training, engaging, and saying that we are doing this, then damn it, let's do it. But we cannot do it without a goal, and it is not written in a goal. We need to look at alignment of our mission, our vision, and our goals. We need to be deliberate. We have been a wonderful, organic, spontaneous organization, and we are making claims that we are not fulfilling. And I want to fulfill those claims. It also means that if we are to survive, we need accountability. We need to agree that Paula can take charge. I do, but let's say it out loud to her. She can feel comfortable. She has assumed a great deal of responsibility. I just feel that looking at this organizational structure, I know we're here for action, but we need to take a pause and do it. And I think it's not very effective to do it as a whole group. So, my 2 cents there.
I am going to share that the mission statement there has been talk, I've been part of it, for a while of, is this really what we are? Is this really what we're supposed to do? This is kind of where we were in February, but have we evolved into something a little different? Because part of me feels like this doesn't, part of me, and I'm just going to tell you right now, because that's how I am, because I just told you, I put my words out there. I feel that it's the second sentence under who we are. Our mission is to link individuals and organizations, ensuring the timely flow of trustworthy information and facilitating collaborative responses to the current direction of the U.S. government. If I think about what we usually do here, that personally is what I see. Timely flow of trustworthy information, we might get better at that, the Facebook, and I think about the Facebook page versus this, because to me, those are also two very different but similar entities, doing different but similar tasks. Okay. And then what we do, yeah, we do peaceful demonstrations, but I felt like that was more Yoopers Unite, which I think is part of that confusion. But this is me just preaching up here, so I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. Building membership, can you talk? Because this was going to just be reports from the breakouts. What was discussed during that? Okay. And please interrupt, because I'm just following the agenda, but if something else has to be said, you need to say it, please.
Okay, so the small group that we worked with came up with the idea of building membership through providing articles or updates through a variety of existing media sources, so like putting something in the Miners Journal, Marquette Monthly, Flyers, Finnish American Reporter, my UP News, and then also we could do like an NPR sponsorship day, where we would take it over and like share a message that way. And I think it's on TV6, it's like the community, oh man, it's like my UP or whatever it's like the community highlight thing where they go out and talk about like some group or person that's like making a positive change. So we thought that we could do the food donations to the local Salvation or the local food pantries, and that would be a way to like highlight what our group has done. And then also like, it'd be like, we've done all this food donation, but we also do these other things. So it'd be like a really nice soft way that a lot of people would feel positive. You know, like it's hard to get mad at somebody when they're like, we're feeding people. So like, it would be a good way to like highlight that, and then we could talk about the other activities that we've done at the same time where we're like, you know, creating safe spaces and community organization and stuff like that, but we could put in the food pantry, like would be the kind of carrot to get people. And then to actively recruit people, we thought at protests, we would have flyers and QR codes. We'd do a better job like walking. Maybe we'd have people that would just be in charge of walking around with, hey, if you like these t-shirts, like order this t-shirt here. If you're interested in participating in this group, like here we go. Because there's a lot of people that ask and you don't really ever have a solid response. I know we have those business cards and sometimes they get handed out, so maybe we need to do a better job giving all the volunteers at the protest like a fistful of those business cards and being like, hey, come to these meetings. And then somebody suggested doing those little, I'm gonna get them wrong, zines? Yeah, yeah, in the free library. So put zines and information in the free library about what we do, again, with like QR codes, or the zines would have it in there, or whatever it is. And then in stores, we thought about, and then we thought we would need to like create this short little flyer or brief information that we would disseminate, and it would be like what our mission and vision is. So maybe this group we wait until we know what that is, and then like the actions we've already done, because we've done a lot of stuff. I think we need to write down an action list, because we're going to start forgetting all the activities that Yooper and Unite has like done, because we've done a lot of stuff, and some of it has been really big and some of it has been really small, and it's easy to remember the big stuff, but some of the smaller stuff kind of gets shuffled to the side. So it's important that we keep all that stuff. A good QR code, or I was thinking a link on the website that you could put your email in, and it would go to like like the Google Doc, and then I could be in charge of like contacting and reaching out to those people and being like a little form letter with like a, hey, come to this meeting. And I think that's, yep, that's it.
For the zine idea, I just need, like, the idea with that was gonna be the easy 8-page, you print it out, you can fold it super easy, not very expensive, pop it in the free library. I need data for that. Oh, I killed the mic. Nope, I don't.
Do you want to just talk up here?
Yeah, that would work. Yeah. Okay. So a zine is like a little independently created, tiny little magazine booklet thing. They were very common in the 90s. So I'm sure most of you already have some inkling. And sometimes in Peter White, we'll see students will leave like little collections of them, and you can take one. I was hoping we could reach out to Peter White maybe. But I need data for that. So for example, I would like to put the amount of food, the pounds of that. How many protests we've done, or the largest turnout and our smallest turnout, or like if there's like a particular day, because I'm pretty new, so like I missed something, you guys were out there in a blizzard, I want to put that in there. So, oh yes?
This, I think, also is where some of the overlap stuff is going to get, because Judy actually made a list of all the things that got done that was passed out last week, on a piece of paper.
Yep.
But it doesn't live electronic, so we just have to have it go in a space somewhere electronic that people can find it. But she put it together a table. There's a date, the event.
Yep.
So that exists. And on the membership question, that's where it also, because with Mobilize, like I was saying, Mobilize gives you this tool to be able to communicate with people automatically, so that as an organizer, you don't have to go find them. They signed up. All you do is send to them. And that makes it, I think, a lot easier, if that makes sense. And so, but then, does it matter whether it's Yoopers Unite or LSRI? I want to, so that's where you can get the data, but the conversation about overlap is a different thing than the zine, so I'll pick that up right now.
Yeah, please. I think this membership committee or whatever it is, it needs to wait. Like, I don't think that, like, we're at a place that we can actively move forward with the membership stuff right now because we don't know what we are. So I think that, like, we need to figure out what we are, and, like, maybe that's, like, if I'm gonna, just shoot myself in the foot, I'm gonna volunteer to be the committee for the person for this thing. So maybe I need to work on with, like, the LSR, or our working group, where, like, maybe there's an overlap and we figure it out, but, like, we need to figure out what LSR is and what we are, and then we move forward.
So what I was gonna say is, we could certainly move forward with the zine and collect the information that she wants to collect and distribute it without getting into who is what and what is who and talk about Tuesday night meetings. One problem we're having is reaching a younger demographic, and a zine is a good way to do it.
And I think we can, like, create a lot of this stuff, like, we can have the template for the flyers, we can get the zine stuff going, and we can be, like, ready to go. I think the zine, you can do them anytime, you're right. But I think that, like, we can have it ready to go so that we know, and we can just move forward at that point, but I just get leery, like a cart horse.
Yeah. For me, that was just like trying to explain, I want it to be a summary of our past year. Initially, I came up with the idea before we were gonna do more outreach with it. I was gonna try to pass them out to everybody, like, look at what we've done with the other organizations, this is who we've worked with, this is how much we've donated, blah, 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 blah. It's not like critical need at this time. I was just like, if you have data, please give me the data.
It's okay. Oh, you're good. Anybody else?
Up to you guys. The list, so the list went out on Discord with the agenda, not with the agenda, with the notes, and in the email, I know it's the chart, because I asked if we could send that. Yeah, it's okay. And the only reason is because I specifically asked if I could share that chart. Amy has my phone, I don't know what time it is. And it went out on the email, right? Yeah, Zeke is talking on the side. But 9 minutes to 8, okay, thank you. So, I feel like we're at a point in listening to the conversation. I'm going back to the sticky notes from last week, which are on the back of that one sheet on the. And the top 3 reasons people come is community, people, connection, like-mindedness. Learn, updates on groups, and about what's happening. Take action, do stuff, be involved, and have a direction. If that's why we're coming, in general, part of me goes, is that what our mission statement says? Is that what is going to get people to join? Because I know some of this is, like, why come Tuesday night? My reason for getting some people here is I tell them it's my shot of positivity every week. Helps me make it through the week. Yeah, go ahead, start talking, because...
I'm gonna yell. So I think you're right that the top 3, but I would like to suggest that we project and, you know, what are we capable of and what do we want to do beyond that? But I think that those first 3, like you say, are a really good place to start because that's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
But where do we want to take it?
And I think that's why many of us are part of Indivisible, but we come here. Because we get some of the stuff. Indivisible tends to be more national. And I leave here every week with more than one task, because one task is to do the notes. But I leave here with an action item, be it a small action item, every single week. And I think that's why a lot of people come. They feel helpless. And when you come here, you feel like, oh, I'm going to do that. Or I did this at this meeting. So some of this conversation, I feel, is also how do we get more people to come, right? I think that's where we're at. How do we get more people to come join us and have the positive problem that we have too many to fit in the room? So building membership and figuring out our like why, even if you are part of Indivisible, why come here? And how can we tell people, come, join us. This is what happens. I will tell you, when I tell people about this, I go, I keep it to an hour. Well, maybe I lied tonight. But we talk for max an hour, unless there's a really big reason. And then we do something. And people go, really? And I go, yeah, we actually do something. And I keep on trying to get that message out to people that I know were coming that stopped because we weren't doing something. We were talking, like I am right now.
And we would be lost without your key secretarial agenda setting stuff. We were, as the person who stood in front of all 85 of you when we first had that first meeting and was like, whoa, there are 85 people here. How do we organize? And we've tried geography, right? We met in the groups. But what I want to, Indivisible stopped meeting for sort of two combined reasons. One is they started at the clubhouse and they had a very firm limit, and we were way over the limit. And then there wasn't, and then we kind of looked around for spaces, and then this also started pretty much at the same time. And so the overlap, like again, was completely organic of now we're in this bigger room, and it came from the Facebook page, it came from online to be here. Well, so it's just so intertwined. But I do want to say that, and then Indivisible sort of was, well, we had a breakout table, but it's more than, it's that direction. I want us to hold on direction for a minute of, if we're here because of what's going on in our U.S. government, that's a democracy question. And in 2026, I've started saying, I am not running, okay? I am not running. So you are now speaking to citizen Jennifer Hill, okay? We are gonna have an election for almost every seat in Michigan in 2026. And so, and we have this independent governor in addition to the two parties. And we have a very competitive Senate race and a very competitive U.S. House race. And so how can we help educate first ourselves and then others to participate in the decision on who's going to get to push that button? I was making decisions for you about millions and millions of dollars. And let's engage, or some of us, I want to help us engage in that conversation. Because yeah, it's intentionally confusing, it's intentionally, they're flooding the zone with money and noise. But we are the citizens of the United States, and we are going to be making these decisions. And not just at the state level, but also our local commissions. And if we hadn't shown up at that community action meeting with 20 of us to say what's going to happen to Meals on Wheels, that helped. So there is a local unit, local actions, and thank you, Deb, for speaking so clearly on the need to help those folks. In Dickinson County, the Dickinson County Commission was going to censor people over what they wore at the meeting. That's not the country we want to live in. And we don't have to, but we have to demand it. And that is our job going forward into 2026. And mutual aid is essential. It is absolutely essential. But we have to demand better from our leaders, which means the people who are running need to hear from us, and they need to start hearing from us right now. Because what we do now is going to impact what they do a year from now when they're making those budget decisions and policy decisions. So, on the question of structure and decision-making, I think you're right. We need a small group of people to make those, like, we're gonna get together tomorrow with Indivisible and think that through, start to think that through. And we'll have these, and there's so many other Indivisibles to learn from, and they've worked through some of this stuff, because some of them have been around since 2017. So we can see how they've made those decisions, and then we can start filling those teams in. And the magic of Yoopers Unite is that Yoopers, we know what Yoopers, right? We know what Yoopers are. But here's the thing about the UP, as someone else who, 6 years as an elected official up here. There is not one government entity that is all 15 counties. Doesn't exist. It is purely a cultural phenomenon, because you can't make a decision based on the 50. There's no one in government who's saying our tax dollars are being decided for these 15 counties. That doesn't exist anywhere. It's us making those decisions for ourselves. Is that helpful about direction and clarity of what we have and how much time we have? We have 12 months, and they are going to be flooding the zone of trying to convince us of this, that, or the other thing. And let's keep our feet on the ground and moving forward.
As someone that I was not very, I voted, but was I always a informed voter? No, I'm gonna be honest. I found this place as a place for me to start to learn, and you all minded my gap. You helped me fill in my learning gaps and helped me be knowledgeable and confident enough to have some of those conversations. So I think that also is a key to this area, this place. You can come here and sit in the back of the room and not say anything for months, and no one says anything. You can join a breakout group and not say anything, and no one says anything. You can learn at your own pace. And I agree, there is an urgency. But the magic to me of this place is that you can learn at your own speed. And that's the magic of this to me, more than anything. And how do we let people know that? How do we welcome people into this place? Because it's scary when you walk in and you hear people talking like Jen. I'm like, oh no, what? Like it just went flying over. This time it didn't. But, you know, how do we make it so people feel that, and people that are disgruntled with our politics, we still invite them in some way, shape, what is that magic that might get them here? I think that's our key piece. Yeah.
I just have a question, because I've never been involved in politics at all, until this year, and I don't know how to share Yoopers Unite with my friends. Now, yesterday I got an email from Mobilize. I signed up to go to the meeting tomorrow night, and as soon as I signed up for it, it said, share this with your friends. So is that a possibility? I mean, I shared it with everybody that I knew that had the same feelings that I had. Now, I don't know if any of them will show up, but that's not an option when I go to the Yoopers Unite page.
Right. So,
you know, linking stuff like she says, Mobilize, it's already built. We don't have to invent the wheel. But I do believe it was a conscious decision that we would not do that.
at first, yep. There was, and I was part of that discussion. and I was one of them, and I said this last week, I was one of them that said, ooh, I didn't, yeah. So, right, and so, yeah. So how do we, so I think a question is, again, Indivisible and Yoopers Unite, I think there's still some, and this is just me talking, and there is, how do we get people here? Why would people come here? That being said, yeah, go ahead, and then,
Sorry.
okay, I don't have my phone, we're over, I guarantee it.
Can we just put something on the website that people could share? Like, can we just have like a standing, like, this is the meeting time and place, and people, and people can just share that?
You go to indivisible.org and you type in 49855 or 49866 or whatever, and Lake Superior Region comes up, and it's the funny, I mean, we got stopped cold with, oh my God, we can't have more than 40 people in this room. And it just, if we said this was indivisible, then anytime somebody searches for anything around by zip code, Lake Superior Region is going to show up. Just like, because the other thing about the coordination that is, initially that started with Blair, absolutely full credit, he was the one who, is most of those groups are now indivisibles. I think maybe a few aren't, but there were 9 indivisible No Kings on October 18th. But those were all Newberry and Sioux and Escanaba and Ironwood. Those were all indivisible groups. So there's a tool online where you can go look up indivisible. LSRI didn't claim this meeting, right? That's, I think, that's the gap, to use your word. And I will also, this coordinated action, there's a statewide indivisible group that would, and there's we've had a couple of runs at having everyone in Jack Bergman's district indivisible get together, because we would all love to get rid of them. Send them back to Louisiana. So that's just in terms of the things that do exist. That doesn't mean, I'm not quite sure what to do with Yoopers Unite.
Right. And I think that's right now where we're at. We're in that messy area again of where are we. I want to be cognizant of time. I'm not here next week, so you won't have to listen to me. I will have a basic agenda ready for next week. I know, I knew I was late. I have someone. I will have an agenda set up basically like we have. If no one else is willing to lead, Lydia has said that she will at least stand up here in the mic. We do have some breakouts that need to happen. I do feel like after tomorrow night's meeting, there may be some more, I'm kind of bummed I won't be here next week, but there will be some more understanding of indivisible. Yoopers Unite, I don't know, is here. I think this happens. Does it evolve? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Second of all, okay, are you with me?
Good.
I do. I
Okay.
think you're making this a bigger problem than it really is. That's just my opinion. Second of all, could you keep talking about these few people that are doing things. Could you please show us who they are and tell us exactly what they do? Maybe that will clarify some things.
Right now, so you know me, you know me, and I do the agendas and the notes. I put those on Discord. Zeke does the email, the website. Donovan sets up here is part of the sounding board. Joanne focuses on the food. Yeah, Joanne. Joanne hates it. it's a safe place. Right? Danielle is not here tonight. sh- And Tina is not here. But Tina comes and speaks. Yeah. He shared some. Okay. Danielle is she is in charge of the Facebook. She is one of them with Blair that said she was the one that started getting the physical gathering versus the Facebook, but she still does all the Facebook too. And she also helps the money. She was the one that got this place for us. But she also works in Wisconsin, so her time here is, did I miss someone? Yeah, and Blair was here last week. He was busy doing his YouTube.
Can we post I know there's been talk that this wanted to be private and keep the numbers down, but can we now post the time and the date on the Yoopers Unite webpage?
Yeah.
And say meetings every Tuesday?
We made a decision before to not do that. There's no reason not to, other than before we step by step, we can absolutely bring that to a vote.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do, is bring it to a vote.
Although something I would like to voice, and I don't want to sidetrack us too much, when we're talking about the number of people who are going to vote on these things, even in this room, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the most we've had is probably 100 people, maybe a bit more than that, and someone told me that the Facebook group has 3,900. Discord has not even close to either of those two numbers. So when we are bringing one of these things to a vote, how are we going to do that effectively? Because I don't think it's appropriate to have us raise our hands in this room and have 50 people make the decision for 3,900.
Great point. I really think this is when we're talking about our organizational structure. We need to be deciding what are group decisions and how are group decisions made. You are right on.
And so,
And we also need that steering committee because we cannot always ask for a whole group decision.
And I will say 3,900, that includes people from across the nation. So they're not going to be at this meeting. So there is that. Like, there's and that's what I was saying. The Facebook page and this physical piece are different in many ways. Because my cousin that lives in Silver Springs doesn't come to these on Tuesday nights.
So if you're talking about membership and people coming to these meetings, you're talking about the people that are here being elected. So what do they have to say?
Yeah. And again, these are all our messy questions right now it's frustrating. I know it's really frustrating. It's frustrating right now, but that's what this messy grassroots stuff gets to it periodically. It's ugly. It's like teaching writing, which I love to do. And there's times when you teach writing and it's ugly. And you just want to walk away from your writing and rip it up, but you don't. You walk away maybe for a little bit. So anyway, okay, Graham, did you have something to share? Now we're really late. We're good.
I will make a point of saying we're going to breakouts after I'm done, so no one else can say anything. Okay, so winter's coming up, and we are already down a third of people compared to last week because of the snowstorms that we had yesterday and the day before, and it's only going to get worse. So I'm going to be trying to make a point of trying to get something more interactive, more online that we can have during the meeting, whether that's going to end up being Zoom call, whether that means that we're going to make a better use of the YouTube chat feature. I'm looking into that. I've made a point of not having that yet because we've had a lot of people voicing opinions in here. But once we start dwindling down, because right now we're at 36, I easily see a week where we're going to have 12 once we get to the deep winter. So I'm looking into it because I know there will be a point where most of us will only be able to get here online. I'm working on it. Okay. breakouts, which are what, Paula?
Oh, wait, see,
Yeah, I need a couple of small updates.
updates
Yeah,
on what
the Discord link on the printed papers
is
is
old?
wrong.
Okay, the Discord server is wrong. Okay,
It's correct on the email documents.
okay,
And
sorry.
there is an event on the 22nd in Escanaba. The America First protest, the priority is to bridge the gap and try to make friendships with Republicans that are currently in opposition to the administration.
All right, you're gonna send that on the
America
22nd?
First protest, November 22nd in Escanaba, noon to 2 p.m. It's not on the agenda, but it's on the website. So we'll make sure it's sent out with the notice. The priority of this event is to reach across and make, break ground with the Republicans who are against the administration. So basically have this event be focused on a bit more bipartisan outreach.
So if you send that to me, I'll get those in the notes.
I am not one of the coordinators, so I should only tell you what the mobile website is.
So it's on the Mobilize though?
Yes,
Okay.
on mobile. It's
All right.
on the website.
Breakouts. If you have any ballot petitions to turn in, or if you need more sheets, Deb is over there. Right, but I'm just like, you can, and I will take invest in, yeah, you can see, and I will take invest, Zeke takes rank choice. The window, okay, so what other ones do we have? Help me. We the people, thank you. Oh, pop up,
Well, it's all right if you want to sign up for the meeting tomorrow night at the
Okay.
library. We really ask you to register to mobilize. We can help you with that here.
all right. Anything else? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wrote that somewhere, sorry. I told you I was not. Yeah.
I can do a tech one here.
All right, okay, tech one. Anything else? I feel like there's something I'm missing. I'm so, I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure. Thank you. Okay. All right. Heavy stuff tonight, you know, get up and shake it out, smile, do a little dance. This was pretty heavy after a week.
And as always, square the chairs at the end of the evening. Thank you.